I think there's a mix of both. Like you said, I'm from Toronto, born and raised here. Grew up playing for so many hometown minor hockey leagues, played with the Toronto Six with Emma. So, my family's here, my friends are here, my community's here. So that was a huge drawing point. And, you know, obviously I want to play for my hometown team, but then also my conversations with Gina and Troy were so positive, and kind of hockey talk was incredibly positive too. So, at the end of the day, Toronto emerged as the clear best fit for me, not just, as a city, because, obviously it's an incredible city and I want to be here, but hockey wise, it was the best fit. So Friday after I signed, I was just incredibly happy that, it worked out like that, because in Friday morning, I wasn't quite sure, how the day would go, but couldn't be happier. It's a dream, really.
I think my day was probably a little slower than Daryl's. For me, I know I wasn't really necessarily testing every market. As you guys know, I played with New York last year, and I absolutely loved being in New York. I can't say a bad thing about that organization, about the people there, about my experience there. And to be honest, I would have been happy going back. For me, it was if the opportunity was there to come back home, at this point in my career, at my age, a lot of factors involved that we don't need to get into, but to come home, you know, that was important to me at some point in my career. So if the opportunity came up, I was pretty certain I was going to take it if it felt like the right fit and the conversation went well and et cetera, et cetera. And it did. So I obviously made that decision to come home. But for me, it wasn't really a hectic day because it was, maybe the opportunity to come home was going to be there, or it was, I was going to land right back on my feet in New York. So that's kind of how it was for me. And yeah, obviously the cherry on top of that, I was in Italy and kind of celebrate there. So that was nice.
So, woke up. I won't take you like all the way through, but woke up, had a few calls in the morning, I guess starting right at 8 a.m. Spoke to GMs kind of all the way to probably, 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. It was pretty much like back to back. And, I didn't, like I said before, I didn't know what to expect when I woke up. But like I was in my house, my dad was here, kind of like supporting me, game planning with me between calls, pros, cons, just talking it through. And then I'd say by, roughly like 3 p.m. around, early afternoon or late afternoon, whatever that is. Um, Toronto, like I said before, emerged as the best fit for me. And, you know, I was incredibly excited to call Gina back and just tell her the exciting news.
Yeah, I think Toronto obviously has an incredible team, as we saw last year. So that's obviously exciting as a player coming onto a team like that. It's a team that, already has a winning culture, and they're going to compete for a championship and, all these things. Playing against New York is going to be interesting. Obviously, it's a small world. As you guys know, in the hockey world, you have friends and good buddies or rivals on every single team. So for me, I made 23, 24 new friends last year, and now I'm gonna have to find a way to just compete against them and find that little edge, which we're already have some banter going back and forth. So the girls were great to me in my decision. The girls I played with in New York, congratulated me, and it made me feel even better about my decision, just having that respect from them. So yeah, I'm gonna find a way to create a little rival there for myself, but I'm excited to be in Toronto and play for this city and this team.
Similar to Emma, playing Toronto, I mean, being from Toronto, it was always really exciting to play them last season. And obviously, they had an incredible team. So, that added to the intensity of playing them, because, you always get more excited when you're playing the better team. And then, the history of hockey with the city of Toronto, the Toronto Maple Leafs, like the little girl in me when we were playing them couldn't help but think about all these, um, you know, you know, weird situations, like whatever. Anyways, so playing my old team next year, playing Ottawa. Kind of similar to Emma. Everyone's been so incredibly supportive of me, all my teammates, reaching out, wishing me the best of luck. Miss you, just kind of those texts. So that's been really nice because, leaving a team is hard because you make really strong connections, but, I'm excited to make new connections in Toronto and obviously know Emma, know a few girls on the team. So I'm just, really excited. Yeah, definitely. How it worked was, yeah, like you probably know, I was restricted to only talking to Ottawa for a certain period of time. So, had a lot of discussions with Mike. We actually had a cute little coffee date here in Toronto, and that was really nice. Um, so yeah, they wanted me back and I felt grateful, for that opportunity. But like I said, after the season, I wanted to test the market, see what other fits were out there. Because I'm trying to find, and now I'm so lucky that I have found, but was trying to find a permanent home for hopefully the rest of my hockey career, which will hopefully be long. So it was a big decision, and Mike understood that, and he supported me in my journey to test the market. But yeah, there were lots of discussions with Mike, and they were all really positive.
Yeah, I can't say how excited I am about that. It always made me excited this year, even just watching the Toronto games or obviously playing in them and seeing the Toronto Six jerseys in the crowd. I have a huge, I'm sure Daryl does too, but I was with Toronto Six for the 3 years that it existed and had a huge sense of pride for that organization and that team. And I really loved playing at home in front of all my friends and family and the community that we had created here surrounding that group. So I think it's a reflection of just the hockey culture and the fans in this city. So, for me to come back and continue my career in Toronto, it means everything to me, to be honest. It meant everything to me to win the Isabel Cup that year. And it felt like it was a long time coming. And, for me, I want to pick up where we left off last time I played in Toronto. I think the city needs another cup, and I think, we have all the right pieces to do that. So I'm extremely excited, but I'm really looking forward to having my friends and family in the stands. I have a huge support group, and obviously they support me wherever I go. And people made the trip to New York last year to watch me play and all these things, but to play at home just means a little bit more to me. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for the question. Yeah, I think I'm sure Daryl and I will have different roles on this team if you guys know our games. But the biggest thing for me was just how hard they were to play against. I don't think I think every team in the league looks forward to playing Toronto because I think Toronto has created a rival with most teams. And I think that has a lot to do with, their ability to just compete in every single game and show up. But I think, they play just a very system-oriented game and they're very connected and which ultimately makes them really hard to play against. I think they have all the right pieces to win from the back end right to the top. And, obviously with the way my style is, I hope to just add to, the depth and maybe add some scoring, but also just play 200-foot game and continue to help this team compete and be hard to play against. I'm sure Daryl will bring a little more skill to the game and maybe, help Natalie Spooner score some more goals as well.
The easiest way to answer that is they were just so hard to play against. I think in Ottawa we beat them a couple times, but it just felt it felt, I know this might sound cliche, but like a little bit different when we were playing them because it was just shift after shift. It was just they were like wave after wave of just felt like they all bought into, the structure, the systems that Troy's implemented. So, that makes it incredibly hard to play against. And then they've got, such skilled players. Renata Fast, Jocelyn the Rock on the back end. They play a ton and they're so hard to play against. They're incredible defenders. So I'm so happy that I don't have to go against them anymore and, play with them, of course. And then, Spooner, MVP, she's incredible. I could just go on and on, Sarah Nurse, um, like Emma Malte, we're the same age. We played together in high school. So I'm just so excited to, join them and buy in with them and hopefully, like Emma said, bring another women's professional title to Toronto. Yeah, so I would say, in Ottawa, yeah. In Ottawa, it was a little bit about opportunity, towards that middle end of the season, or, I guess after the first third, I got more opportunity. So that helped with, scoring more goals, helping my line mates score more goals, playing with Jenner and Raska, that was incredibly fun, and we found success. And then the second part was, who do I think I'm going to play with?
Yeah, if that chemistry was a factor, do you know anybody? Have you played with anybody? Any line mates you could see having chemistry with?
Yeah, I think, chemistry is incredibly important. And when you're putting lines together, that's like the emphasis. Who are you going to have chemistry with? So I'm sure, Troy and Gina, they have ideas of what they'd like to do, but, it's so far away. There's for sure a lot of different combinations and, exciting, I don't know, combinations that can be thrown together. But, to play with like Spooner, Nurse, Malte, Victoria Bach, I could just go on. But, those four, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. Oh, Emma Woods. Those players are, amazing. And, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Obviously they're the Hockey Canada GM and head coach, and I hadn't talked to them for a while. So Monday morning when I talked to them, I was excited to talk to them, reconnect, and it obviously wasn't why I went to Toronto, because they're the Hockey Canada people, and I know that narrative is out there, but for Em and I, we're both from Toronto, so that narrative's just, it doesn't really, whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's an obvious benefit to them being the Hockey Canada coach and GM, but it's certainly not why Emma or I chose Toronto. And I'm just excited to, learn from them and work with them for, the next 2 years to win PWHL titles. And, Hockey Canada is kind of a separate silo, and, there's camps in September, rivalry series. So I'm just excited to see where, I fit and how I do at the camp in the fall.